Thank you.
Yes, namaste. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. I'm Ankur Patel, the Director of Outreach for Hindu University of America. My title has changed, but I'm still here with you for this webinar and hosting many webinars. Thank you for joining and putting in the chat where you are joining us from. Amrita ji from San Francisco, Satish from Atlanta. Thank you for joining. Dr. Atul Shah from Troy, Michigan. Dilipji from Maryland. Yeshaji, hopefully you got your audio and video working. You can see and hear us. Let me know if you can't. Colinji, namaste, welcome. Maniji from Miami Beach, nice. Abhiji from Chicago. Daryaji from Toronto. Glad to have you. Rameshji, I'm going to have to give you a call later. Aparnaji, North Carolina, glad to have you. Arunji from Dallas. Ed from New Jersey. Shiv Shankarji from Bangalore. Rameshji from Malaysia. Rajiji from Phoenix. Amu from Malaysia. Akilaji from Dubai. Lokeshji from Dubai. West Palm Beach. Colin, thank you for joining. Lomasji, Houston. Yesha from San Francisco. Tyagarajanji from San Jose. Rahulji from Irvine. Parasharji Muktaji from Tennessee, welcome. Glad to have all of you with us today. I am actually joining you from North Carolina. I'm at the Hindu Society of North Carolina for the Bhagavad Gita Pariksha, an exciting program. Kids are doing Antakshari in the other room, actually learning the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe we'll be able to bring that to your local mandir in the future. But let us start with today's webinar. Acharyaji, why don't you introduce yourself, just where you're at, and do an audio check, and then I'll give you a proper introduction.
Har Har Mahadev. Namaste. My name is Acharya Mrityunjay Trivedi. I've been living in USA since 2018. I'm located in LA County in California. A small town named Lancaster, a bigger place named Antelope Valley. I've been here for 7 years. I've been working with this temple, amazing temple named Hindu Temple of Antelope Valley. And I'm enjoying my time over here. And I'm really blessed to be a part of HUA, Hindu University of America.
Wonderful. And we're glad to have you with us, Acharyaji. And the background on today's webinar, we're going to talk about the Vishnu Sahasranama, the Stotram. It means the 1,000 names of Vishnu. It's embedded in 149 shlokas of that stotra, and it was strung together by Sri Vedavyasa, right, author of the Puranas, gets credit for the Puranas, and comes from the 135th chapter of the Anushashan Parv in the Mahabharata. So we're going to explore the meaning and the essence of those 1,000 names. Maybe not all 1,000 of them. We don't have the time for that. But Acharyaji is going to pick out a few and give us a background on the Stotram itself, the context of it within the Mahabharata. And, it's a conversation between Prince Yudhishthira and Bhishma. And so he's going to get into all of that. And then we're also going to be teaching a course on this. I'm not teaching the course, Acharyaji is. And hopefully you will be able to participate in that if you enjoy what Acharyaji Mrityunjay Mani Trivedi presents today. Let me just introduce him a little bit more. Right, he said from 2018, he's been with Hindu University of America, right when we went online and have been working. But he comes from Uttar Pradesh. He's got a Master of Theology degree in Dharma Shastra. From what is it, Sampurnananda Sanskrit University in Varanasi. He's been amazing in so many different ways, right? His youth was dedicated to learning the Vedas, especially the Yajurveda and astrology, philosophy, Karmakand. But he's proficient in Hindu scriptures, of course, the Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Upanishads. But as a priest, Acharyaji has conducted different pujas and rituals, all sorts of them, right? The 16 sanskaras, and he's got an interest in so many things. It's really our pleasure to have a wonderful person, an acharya, a guru, like Mrityunjay Mani Trivedi ji with us at Hindu University of America. And so with that brief introduction, let me hand it off to Acharya Ji to get us started on today's webinar. Thank you all.
First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for taking your precious time. This is weekend. This is Saturday. Generally, people has their own plans to join us today. Very thank you. It's a true privilege to have such an esteemed group of individuals here. First and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Kalyanji and our amazing host, Sri Ankurji, for making this event possible. Your efforts and dedication have truly made this gathering a reality. To our audience and participants, your presence is greatly valued, and I'm deeply honored that you have chosen to spend your time with us. I hope today's session will be as insightful and rewarding for you as it has been for me preparing it. Without any other discussion, during this webinar, during this talk, if you have any questions, please hold them off till the end. I would be happy to answer them. Before I begin, let me invoke Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu into this meeting, into this webinar, and we start from there. Ganga Taranga Ramaniya Jata Kalapam Gauri Nirantara Vibhoshitavama Bhagam Narayana Pranayanayanam Buharam Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham Udyadaditya Sankasham Pitavasa Samachyutam Shankachakra Panim Dhyaye Lakshmi Patim Harim Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmir Puravasini Vamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidyadanam Tu Dehi Me. It is said, Udyadaditya Sankasham, the Lord Vishnu, who is looking like a rising sun. Pitavasa Samachyutam, who is wearing yellow clothing. Shankha Chakra Gada Panim, who is holding a conch, a chakra on his top right hand, a mace in right hand, second right hand, and a beautiful lotus in his left second hand. Shankha Chakra Gada Padim Dhyaye Lakshmi Patim Harim. I bow down to Lord Mahavishnu and invoke him in this meeting. Let us all may get the blessing from Lord Mahavishnu. Ankuji, I have prepared a small presentation. Let me just share that quickly. Ankurji, is it visible?
It's just loading for me. I think I also have slow internet. Let me know in the chat when you can see the presentation. It's still loading for me. Okay. And we have over 100 people on with us today. Thank you everyone for joining. Acharya Ji, people are aware of you and what you teach and are joining because you're so inspiring and engaging. Thank you.
It's their kindness to join and spend their time. It has been a very variety of the courses and meeting amazing participants and devotees and participants and people through the webinar, through the courses. It has been a very exciting journey for me.
Mm-hmm. No, Acharya,
so while it is
presentation's not loading. I don't know if you're sharing the right window or the white screen. It's on a white slide right now.
The screen sharing is paused. So let me try one more time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be.
If you haven't put in the chat where you're zooming in from, now's the time to do it, and I can give you a quick shout out while we get the slide to load.
There is something wrong with this.
Ormi ji from New Jersey, thank you for joining. Apurva ji from DC. Archerna ji from California. Yes, thank you for joining. Acharya ji, if you want to send me the PowerPoint, maybe I
Yes,
can.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just sending you through the email.
Shobha ji from Trinidad, thank you. Damodar ji from Boulder, Colorado. Yes, Sunil ji from Florida. Sunil ji, not from Florida. Yeah, from Florida. Aryan ji also from Florida. Sri Devi from Pittsburgh. Sesha ji from Fremont. Welcome. Huzan from California. Padam from Boston. Yes. Keep that energy going. Thank you. Sorry for a little delay. Let me see if I got the presentation. I will try to share.
Yeah, I send you. So, did you get it, Ankuji?
Not yet. There we go. Now I have it.
So before, while Ankuji is putting that, let me just have one another slok of. So it is said, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyastavaihi, meaning for the God, even Brahma, who is creator, Yam Brahma, the Varun, the Lord of water, Indra, the king of devatas, Yam Brahma, Varunendra, Rudra, even Lord Shiva, Marutaha, Lord Vayu, the God who protects the air, Stunvanti Divyastavaihi, they always recite, they always pray to that Lord Mahavishnu. Not even that, it is said, Vedaha Sanga Padakramopanishadai, even the Vedas, all four Vedas together, they try to recite, they try to glorify Lord Mahavishnu. Veda Upanishadai Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyastavaihi Vedaha Sanga Padakramopanishadair Gayantiyam Samagaha. Even the Sam Ved is singing about Lord Mahavishnu. Dhyanavasthita Tadgaten Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino. The yogis, the great sages who see Lord Mahavishnu in their dhyan, in their meditation, in their meditative state. That Lord Mahavishnu we are going to learn, we are going to understand about. Yasyante. Yes, Ankurji, I think it's coming. Yes. There you go.
Okay, I will hit slide next when you tell me to.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. And now we are going to start this webinar where we are going to learn about Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. The title of this book is Sri Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram, which is greatly observed in every region of India. Everyone, every family across the world observes this Vishnu Sahasranam and a couple others chanting like Kalita Sahasranam. So next slide, Ankuji. So introduction to Vishnu Sahasranamam. If we understand the title correctly, so the title says Vishnu, Sahasra, and Nama. So let us understand what is Vishnu, what is Sahasra, and what is Nama. So Vishnu, in Sanskrit, every word has a root verb which explains the meaning, the inner meaning of the word. So the Visri Dhatu, Vishnu's word comes, or that means Visri Vyapto, who pervades everywhere. And Vishveti Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. Vishnu is who is in everywhere, in and out, in every human, every living being. He is present everywhere. He is omniscient everywhere. So Vishveti Vyapnoti iti Vishnu, that which pervades everywhere. The second part of it is Sahasra. So word Sahasra in Sanskrit means 1,000. When you say Sahasra, so 1,000, 1,000. But in this context, Sahasra also means accountable. You cannot count, uncountable. For example, a famous mantra of Shukla Yajurveda says, Sahasra Shirkha Purukha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. It says that Lord, that who has 1,000 head, Sahasra Shirkha, who has 1,000 eyes, and Sahasrapat, 1,000 feet. Sabhumim Vishwato Ratva Atyatishtat Dashangulam, who is above the sky, who is above the antariksh space, and still above the 10 inches above the space. But that doesn't make any sense. This Sahasra word which we are learning, if the God has the Sahasra Shirsha, 1,000 head, how come he has only 1,000 eyes? He should have 2,000 eyes. If he has 1,000 head, Sahasra Shirkha, then he should have 2,000 feet. So what word Sahasra here means is something which is cannot be count, something which is limitless, something which does not have a limit. But to give the devotees, to give the practitioner an idea, a glimpse of that God, that divinity, the sages has brought their name into 1,000 to express entirely what that deity is. Third is Namam. Namam is nothing but a sangya, a noun, a given name, the way we say Nam. So, in this Vishnu Sahasranam, the name of Lord Mahavishnu, we are going to learn in 3 different aspects of the names. There are names which will describe Lord Mahavishnu as an avatar Purush, as an incarnation. For example, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, all that is what? This is avatar of Mahavishnu. The second category of the name in Vishnu Sahasranam is Devata. Devata meaning that those names will describe Mahavishnu as a Devata who lives in Satyalok, as a Devata who takes care of the universe, all that. The third category of the names are the Brahman category. Those names will describe Vishnu as the ultimate reality, ultimate Brahman, as I earlier said. Veda Sangha Padakramopanishadair Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyana Gatina Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yasyantam Navidu Sura Surgana. Even the Devatas and the Asuras cannot know him entirely. That Mahavishnu, we are going to learn these group of names as ultimate reality, as ultimate Brahman, which Vedanta talks about, which the Sankhya philosophy talks about, and other schools of thought. Ankurji, next slide, please. Before we learn anything, it is better to understand the background of the text. Where does it come from? So this Vishnu Sahasranam is the mainly 1,000 names of Lord Mahavishnu, which are embedded in 108 slokas. There are many different type of the book, type of the chanting, but the mainly when it starts from Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaro, and Yagyam till the last name, those slokas are embedded only 108 slokas. There are different versions of the books, but the mainly all those names comes under these 108 slokas. This stotra was strung together by Sri Ved Vyas. Who is this Ved Vyas? The Ved Vyas, who is the author of the Puranas, who is also written the 18 Puranas. Where we find this powerful chanting, this powerful recitation, it comes in Mahabharata and the 149th chapter of Anushashan Parva. What is this Anushashan Parva? So Mahabharata has 18 different parvas. In those 18 different parva, this comes in under Anushashan Parva. Parva meaning a large session of the chapters. So a parva contains as many hundred of chapters, and then it becomes parva. So like a big session of that. So it comes in 149th chapter of Anushashan Parva. Anushashan Parva is there where the war of the Mahabharata is almost completed. And that is when this Anushashan Parva starts. These shlokas of this chanting in this Vishnu Sahasranam are chanted in a rhythmic meter called Anushtup Chanda. It is very commonly used. It is very musical and very easy to follow. And it has been, I think, a very favorite meter of the poet in Sanskrit. Anushtup Chanda generally has two verses, two long verses, and then each of those verses uh, goes to the two to divide. It divides into two. So 1, 2, and 3 and 4. It is divided in 4 parts, and each of those parts has 8 matras. Total together 32 matra. Matra is what? Matra is just the beat. Like this is the beat. So Anushtup Chanda, that is what the meter of this entire chanting is. This Vishnu Sahasranama, when it comes in Anushasana Parva, it is a conversation, a talk, a question answer, an inquiry between Prince Yudhishthir and Bhishma Pitama. What happens is, after finishing the war, after defeating the enemy, after defeating their own family, now the Yudhishthir has become the emperor of the world. And even that, Lord Krishna sees him that he's not fully content. He still doesn't look that happy. So he asks him. So he says, now we have become the emperor, but I really don't have that much idea how to run this kingdom. This is very vast kingdom. So Lord Krishna, who has been a great supporter, who has been the pillar of their victory, takes Yudhishthir among other 4, among the Pandavas. He takes all those brothers, Pandavas, and takes him to the Bhishma Pitama. Who is Bhishma Pitama? The Bhishma Pitama is the great grandsire of Kuru dynasty and a very, very wise man and a great devotee of Lord Mahavishnu and a man of his word who is waiting for the sacred time. He's on his deathbed. He's on this bed of an arrow, and he's waiting for the sacred time to arrive, and that is when he leaves his body. So Lord Krishna then takes all these Pandavas to Bhishma Pitama, asks him that they are seeking your help, they are seeking your blessing. So please teach them the Raj Dharma. What are the Raj Dharma? Raj Dharmas are nothing but a set of rules and regulation, terms and conditions of how to run a kingdom, how to treat your people, how to how to expand your kingdom, how to behave with your enemy, and so on and so forth. So there are a set of rules and regulations called Raj Dharma. After hearing all those Raj Dharma, all that which Bhishma Pitama has to say, Yudhishthir still had few questions. The way in our life as human being we do, after gaining something good, after reaching to our goals, when we reach there, when we are there, that is when some other question comes in our mind. And that is what pushes us to go further in a life and acquire more. The same way Yudhishthir asked the Bhishma Pitama that I have few other questions, if you can answer them. And in the next slide, we see what are those questions. Asking the question is the great. For example, when you meet a wise man, a sage, it is very good to ask some question. If you have few questions, that is what a good way to start a conversation. It is what because he's a wise man and he's in the deathbed. So now whatever he will say a very right. Whatever he has been observing in all his life, that is what he will give you as his advice. So Yudhishthir asks him, Kimekam daivatam loke, kim vapyekam parayanam, stuvantaha kam kamarchantaha prapniur manavah shubham. In the second slok, he asks, Ko dharmaha sarva dharmanam, what is the greatest dharma of all? Bhavataha paramomata, in your opinion. Kin japan muchyate jantuhu, by doing the recitation of the name of which god, jantuhu meaning all the living beings can elevate themselves, can get the liberation. In the next slide, we will see these questions and answers in a very large way. So the first question Yudhishthir is asking that Kimekam Devakam Loke, Isn't this a very relevant question to all of us? Sometime in our life, we think that, oh, what is that one devata? We just want to get out to one, concentrate.
Yeah, I think Acharyaji's internet is having some trouble. I am not going to present this. I'm not the expert, but we'll try to get him back. Give him a quick text message. Yeah, Acharyaji, your internet is cutting in and out. I think he just rejoined. Okay, great. Now I think we can hear you and see you.
So he asked, Kimekam Daivatam Loke, who is the greatest Lord in the world? Bhishma answers, there is one Lord who is Pavitranam Pavitram Yo Mangalanam Cha Mangalam, who is the Pavitranam Pavitram, who is the purest of all, Mangalanam Cha Mangalam, who is auspicious, or who is the most auspicious of all, Daivatam Devatanam Cha, who is the greatest Devata, who is the greatest Lord, Bhutanam Yo Avyayah Pita. Bhutanam meaning in the entire universe, the entire existing thing, existing living being, all Bhutanam Yo Avyayah Pita, who is eternal father of all living, who is Lord Mahavishnu. That is the greatest, that is the Ekam, that is that Devata you should observe in your life. In his second question, on the next slide, he asked, Ankurji, next slide, please. Kim Vapi Ekam Parayanam. Who's the one refuse of all? Parayanam. If we are tired, if we don't know, if we are confused, what is that one God? What is that one divinity we should go to take the refuse to? Bhishma answers, Paramam yo mahattejaha, paramam yo mahattapaha. The Lord who's mahattejaha, who's param, who's supreme light, who everything is lit up because of his light. Paramam yo mahat tejaha. Paramam yo mahat tapaha. He's not just the light, he's mahat tapaha. He's a great ascetic. He's a great observer. He's a great tapas. Paramam yo mahat brahma. Not even that. He is the one that's supreme, that param brahma, paramatma, that the Ishwar. Paramam yo mahat brahma, paramam yah parayanam. I give you my advice that you take the refuge in the Lord Mahavishnu's feet. Paramam yah parayanam. He is the greatest refuge of all. In his third question in the next slide, he asked, Stuvantam kam, Stuvantah kam, meaning which God we do the stuti for, or by glorifying whom can one reach auspiciousness. Stuvati. Stuti meaning this is what the stuti is. Reciting Rudram, reciting Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam, Ganpati Atharvasirsh, reciting Rudrashtakam, reciting Lingastakam, all those are the stuti. So he says, please tell me whose stuti should I do? So he says, Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purottamam. Who is Jagatah Prabhu? Jagat Prabhu, who is the supreme, or who is the greatest of all, or who pervades everywhere, who is holding this universe, Jagat Prabhum, who is the leader of this Jagat, who is leader of not only the Bhulok, Bhur Swar Mahajana, Tapolok, Bhu, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, Mahatal, and Patal, all these 14 dimensions, who is Prabhum, who is superior in their Anantam Purushottamam, who is Anant, who is Anant meaning who doesn't have a beginning nor an end, who is Anant, who is Purushottamam, who is greatest being, Stuman Nama. Stuman meaning again to recite or chant his name, Stuman Nam. But what are those names? He says, Stuman Nama Sahastrena. This Lord Vishnu Sahasranam, which I'm going to give you now, this is the one, Purushaha Shatatothitaha. By observing this, by glorifying this, Purushaha meaning all these Yajman or all these, any being can Satatothita, can elevate themselves, can get the liberation, can get the understanding of Bhagavan. In his fourth questions, Amarchantaha, very great question. By Archan, meaning by doing the ritual of which god? We have different god, we are sometimes confused. People come to me also that, Acharyaji, I have many idols. So what the great idol? Which god should I do the puja? So here is what according to Bhishma is. Kamarchantaha prapniyat manavah shubham. By doing the worship or the puja of which god, people attain auspiciousness or people get peace and prosperity. Bhishma says, Tameva, Tameva meaning that Mahavishnu, Tameva cha archayan, doing the worship, doing observing his puja, Tameva cha archayan. He says, this is where he's giving this insight, giving this terms and condition to all the devotees. Tameva charchayam, but how?
Okay. I think we lost Acharyaji again. He'll rejoin. Let me I got a poll I can launch real quick. Let us know if you've attended a webinar before, if you've taken a course, this is your first time. Oh, this is an older poll. And Acharyaji is back. There we go. We're on question 4, right? Yeah.
And Guruji, let me join it from the phone. I think there is some problem with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Can you hear me and see me
Yes, we can.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Kamarchantaha, by performing worship or ritual of which god, one can get auspiciousness and peace and prosperity. Bhishma says, Tameva, meaning that Mahavishnu, Charchayan, doing the worship or doing the ritual, performing the worship of Mahavishnu. And he is giving this terms and condition that how you will attain auspiciousness and peace and prosperity. He says, Nityam, every day, with bhaktya, with devotion, and Purusham Avyayam. You have to do it every day with the devotion, every day with the devotion. Then you gain these benefits. Dhyayan, if you cannot do the recitation, if you cannot perform the worship, it says dhyayan, just visualize him, just memorize him. Dhyayan, stuvan, do the glorifying his name, called stuvan. Namasyamscha, even doing just the namaskaram, if you don't have time with your entire heart, with the gratitude, if you just do the namaskaram, what happens? Yajamanas the Yajman, the one observer, one devotee can attain all this auspiciousness, peace, and prosperity. In his fifth and sixth question in the next slide, Yudhishthir is going to still have 2 questions left. It says, because I'm a king, I am gonna have different kind of responsibility on my shoulders. So please tell me that ko dharmaha sarva dharmanam. What is the greatest dharma in your wise opinion? And Kim Japan Muchyate Jantuhu.
all this human living being by doing the japa of which God, Janma Samsara Bandhanat, because even at the end of our life, this is what our desire, that Janma Samsara, that Punarapi Janmam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare, Shayanam, we just want to escape this rebirth process and get to liberate, get to be with the Bhagwan. So he says, Ko dharma sarva dharmanam. So Bhishma says, Anadi nidhanam Vishnum sarva lokamayeshwaram. That one Vishnu, by observing all these steps which I have given, make this as your priority, make this as your dharma. What is dharma? Dhriyate anen dharati itiva dharma, which you observe in your life effortlessly. That is what the dharma is. Dharma cannot be put on you. What is you do it effortlessly in every day? That is what your dharma is. That is what your dhriyat dharma is. So he says, Anadi Nidhanam Vishnum, that Vishnu who is Anadi Nidhan, who doesn't have, who wasn't born and who will always be there. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, who is the protector, who's the Ishwar of all 14 dimensions of the life, all these 14 lokas. And then in sixth question, his answers, Kim Japan Muchyate Jantuhu, by doing the Japam of which God. Why he is asking Japam? Because there are 4 steps in the puja, in the worship. The first is Archan, when we do the puja, where we need natural supplies on all that. The second step is Stuti, that is when we don't need natural supplies, we don't need incense stick or any puja samagri. It is second step is to stuti you and your God, and you do the glorifying his name, you do his prayers. Archan, stuti, and then third step of the worship is japa. What is the japa? It has mansik, vachik, and upamshu, where the name of that Lord you recite in your mind and you focus on your favorite God. That is what the japam is, and you keep reciting as the mantra says, Mananat Trayate Yasya Saha Mantra, by observing again and again, which removes your fear, which removes all your ignorance. That is what the mantra is. So he says, please tell me that also, that which God I should do the jap for, Kim Japan Muchyate, and what gives the benefit of, what liberates the people, what removes the, not only removes the ignorance, what takes them to the liberation. Janma samsara bandhana, this bandhan of this janma goes away by observing which name. He says, Loka Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam. Who is the Lokanam Adhyaksham? Who is the one God is Mahavishnu. Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam, by doing the worship, by doing the japam, by doing the stuti of Nityam, meaning every day, of whom Mahavishnu. Sarva dukkhatiko bhave. Your all dukh, your all problems, your all janma sansar, your this the worldly ties which we are attached to will disappear, will go away, and we will, and a devotee goes beyond all of this and beyond the sorrows, beyond the all kind of disappointments of the life. So this is what this sixth question he has asked. And Bhishma, after answering this question, that is when he start this Vishnu Sahasranamam, and it starts from Bhishma Uvacha, and then it goes for Vishwam Vishnu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhakti Bhavat Prabhu. And the first name of that chanting is Vishwam. Every chanting, every recitation gives us the entire insight of the stotra, of that particular chanting. So the first name of this says Vishwam. Who is Vishwam, meaning who is all this universe, who is in and out and everything. That is what the Vishwam meaning who is everywhere. So that is how Lord Bhishma has answered his question. In the next slide, we will see how this Vishnu Sahasranam is structured. So in the Vishnu Sahasranam, generally we have a one Purva Bhag, which is before the chanting, before the actual chanting. Then we have a Sahasranam, and then we have Uttar Bhag. So what is Purva Bhag? The Purva Bhag, or the beginning, contains some of the Dhyan slokas and the Nyas. What is the Dhyan slok? Dhyan slok where we visualize the Bhagwan, visualize his form in our mind, and stable ourselves, concentrate ourselves on Bhagwan. Then in the Nyas, it is to be said, Devo Bhutva Devam Yaje. When you are observing a Devata, you should also be like one, like a Devata. And that is when you observe a Bhagavan, any of God's worship or puja. So what does this Nyasa do? This Nyas in the different part of body, by reciting some name, by reciting some Vashatkaras, we invoke that divinity, that divine power in our body to be prepared for this worship, to be prepared for this observing and practice. So that is what the Nyasa means. The second part of is Sahasranam, which contains only 180 slokas, and it has, from the first name till the last, it contains 1000 different names, and with the three aspects which we talked about earlier. So that is the Sahasranam part of it. And then we have Uttar Bhag, or yes, the end Bhag. So the Uttar Bhag contains the benefits, and that is the main, anything which we do, which we observe, it is says prayojanam anudyasya mandopina pravartate. If there is no benefit, if there is no result, without any prayojan, without any gain, even the people with very, very low IQ, meaning mudhas, they all also doesn't start doing anything. So we have to know the result, we have to know the benefits. So this Uttar Bhag talks about the benefit of this Sahasranam, how to observe it, and what kind of the benefit of this chanting can give a devotee. So these are the three aspects of this Sahasranam. In the next slide, Ankurji, there is one slok. I would ask anyone from the participants, if someone wants to repeat after me, that is the way our class is going to be. So if someone can volunteer themselves to recite this slokam after me.
So raise your hand in the participant window or put in the chat. Okay, I see 2, 3, no, a lot of people. Okay, I think we have to only do one person.
Yes.
Who will I take? Archana ji, you ready? Let me unmute you, give you the shot. Let's see. Where'd you go? Oh, there's like 7 people who raised their hand. Okay, Archana ji's got first chance. Go ahead, Archana ji.
Oh, that's very
Thank you. Thank you, Archana ji, for joining.
Thank you. Should I
In this
start?
class is based on not only chanting and not only meaning. It is, first we have to understand how to say the words correctly, and then we know the meaning. So it pronunciation and meaning together, and this beautiful course we have. So please repeat after me. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum
Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum
Shashi Varnam Chaturbhujam
Shashi Varnam Chaturbhujam
Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet
Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet
Sarva Vighno
Sarva Vigno Pashyantaye.
Thank you, Archana ji. So this shlok says, Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum, that Vishnu in the different form, or this shlok is also considered the shlok of Ganapati, who is wearing the white clothing, Shukla meaning white, Ambar meaning cloth, and Dharam meaning who is wearing it. Vishnu can go to Vishnu, and Vishnu as the name, this shlok can to go and describe Lord Mahavishnu, Vishnu, who is also wearing white clothing. And then Shashi Varanam. Varanam meaning his color tone of his body, his color tone of his skin is Shashi Varanam. Shashi meaning moon. He's very shiny, he's very delightful, he's very pleasant. He's Shashi Varanam. Chaturbhujam, he has 4 hands. Prasanna Vadanam, he looks happy. Prasanna Vadanam, his entire face looks like, contains a very, very sweet smile. Prasanna Vadanam. Dhyayet meaning we meditate upon you, we visualize you. And for what? Again, if you pay attention, that the last part, again it came, the result part, Sarva Vigno Pashantayet, I do observe you, I do meditate you, who is Vishnu, who's wearing white clothing, has 4 hands, and who is very beautiful, who is prasanna vadanam, who is delightful. For what? Sarva vignopashantayet. So please remove all the obstacles, all the vignas away from our path and bless me and all of the devotees, all of these participants in this class. I think with this, Ankurji,
Maybe you could do it one more time in meter. Manis is asking, and maybe somebody else can follow you. Damodarji, are you ready? Do it one more time with the proper. No, you're muted, Acharyaji.
okay. So someone is ready to repeat after me.
Damodarji, are you ready? No? Okay, Rajiji, you're up next. So Rajiji, if you can unmute and then go after. No, you're not ready? There you are. Okay, we got two. Let's see if we can have two people follow you. All right.
Okay. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum
Shuklam
Bharadharam Vishnu
Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam.
Shivarnam Chaturbhujam
Perfect. Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet.
Prasanna
Varanam Dhyayet
Wonderful. Sarva Vighno Pashantaye.
Sarva Vigno Pashantaye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for repeating after me, volunteering yourself. Thank you. So if someone has any questions, question, Ankurji, we can welcome the question, any inquiry.
So that's the end of the presentation? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? What are you going to do in the course? And right on the webinar, it's a little bit different because you got to unmute and you got to, but in the class, people are going to be able to see each other and then however you manage it. Maybe you could talk about that a little bit, how it is in the class, because you've taught this course once or twice now.
Twice, I think.
It's very popular. I mean, it's
Yes.
so crucial. So if you want to just talk about how previous courses went a little bit, what people are expected to do, that kind of engagement question, yeah?
So this class is structured with the as I said, pronunciation and meaning. So we'll first focus of the pronunciation, how to say the words correctly, how to recite it properly, how to observe the meter. That is where you can learn from only learning this Sahasranam, you can learn to recite other Sahasranam or other Sanskrits. So first we focus on that. And the second, after completing the slope, we go to the meanings. We talk about that what is the meaning of this name, where this name has come from, whether it is avatar name, whether this is Devata name, whether this name is as a Brahman. So we all talk about that. And then we also, in my class, I don't restrict it till the course. You can ask any other questions, whichever the question you have, with your regular observing, regular puja, regular worship. Last 20 minutes of the class are focused on the questions, focused on the inquiries. What is expected in this class, if you know a little bit of the Sanskrit, if you know a little bit of the wording, would help. But if you want to join in your own languages, in your own language, that is also okay, because to learn entire Sanskrit may take little while. You may have to go through our Sanskrit classes, which also Hindu University provides. But in this class, if you know the wording, it is good. But if you are willing to learn and willing to follow with your wording, meaning your language, that is also fine. And this class is hour and a half class, where the first hour and 10 minutes are for understanding the meaning, understanding the pronunciation correctly, and the last 20 or 30 minutes of the class is for the question, meanings, and all other inquiries. This is a 10-week class. So every Saturday we will have this session of hour and 30 minutes. If you have any other questions, please do ask.
Yeah, just to reiterate, Rahulji, so Sanskrit knowledge is nice, but not required. That was a question that came up. I put link to the course and some details in the chat. So it's like Acharya Ji said, an hour and a half. It's going to be on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, starting in October, on October 12th. So this is a paid course. I think the fee is $300. If you have financial issues, you may, it's $200. It's a 1/4 credit hour course. So if you need a scholarship or something like that, we may be able to, I'll put a link in the chat. You've had what, like 20, 30 people in your course these last couple sessions. How did
Yes.
that go with chanting and reciting, and how did that go?
So generally, what I do is I focus on each and every single student. I give them like two slok each. So first we'll recite two slok, meaning I will engage with him as well as with others. But that one person I will focus on, he will recite two other sloks, someone will recite two. So for example, in one class, I catch 6 to 7 people, or to just recite, and I explain them the meaning, and then other class, that is how I engage the audience and engage the students in the class. So everyone does get the time every day. Everyone does get my attention. So don't worry about that.
Nice. This is one part course, right? The other course you taught, the Lalita
Lalita
Sahasranam,
Sahasranama.
that was
Yes.
broken up into two courses.
Two
So in this,
courses.
you can't do all 1,008 shlokas. So how do you decide which ones to focus on and prioritize over the 10-week, 11-week course?
So what the reason here is, actually the Lalita Sahasranam is little longer in the number of sloks, because the name of Bhagavati, the name of Divine Mother, is so long. For example, in entire one slok, you may get only two names. So because of the number of slokas, because the depth of the Lalita Sahasranamam, and the way we structured a Lalita Sahasranam course, that we are not only teaching them the pronunciation and meaning, we are also taking their attention towards Sri Chakra, how the Sri Chakra worship is observed, and how, because everyone sees that Sri Yantra and they don't know much about it. So that is why that class had to be broken into two parts. But this Vishnu Sahasranam class can be done in one part. So that is how we have been successfully doing it.
Great. Purvaji's got a general question. It's a little bit long, but
Okay.
and it starts with, how do we understand Vishnu? Right? That's where we're at. So do we look at Vishnu as a concept or as a deity god, Bhagwan? And when we're chanting the 1,000 names, are those the qualities of a particular kind of god we are describing, or are those the universal qualities of all gods?
Okay. I think that is the great blessing of Mahavishnu on you, that you are here in this webinar and trying to understand about Vishnu. So as we talk, like in this Vishnu Sahasranam, the God is going to be described in many different ways: Avatar, Bhagwan, Purush, normal being, and everything. To understand something, we have to, or to get a faith on something, we have to know it. At least we know that what is the meaning, what is the root, how this meaning comes from. So I welcome you, I highly encourage you, even if you are serious, please join the course, and give your opinion later, afterwards, because in this course we focus only on Vishnu, all his names. Yes, those names are not, they are not at one focused level, they are in different levels. So we do talk about that, bring us to the Bhagavatam, that takes us to Shiva Puran, that takes to the Vishnu Puran, then takes us to Mahabharata. We little bit, we talk about the story, we talk about reason, and all that we discuss in the class.
Yeah,
As
and
the
that
name
makes a lot of
comes.
sense.
Yes.
Each of the names brings a different aspect of understanding. It's not just from one layer, right? That's why there's so many ways of representing and talking.
Yeah.
Great. Rajiv Ji is asking how to do the nyasa. How do you actually do it?
Yeah. So Nyas is not that difficult. So Nyas, I have made a video on the Nyas, which I provide in class, how to do it. So for example, it has four kind of nyasas are there. Nyas are nothing in the very general way to say. The nyas, which we say the mantra, we say the verse of the mantra, and we invoke the Bhagwan, invoke that divinity by reciting that, because that name has something specific about that body part. So we invoke them within our body. For example, when we say Vishnave Namaha or Vishnave Hridayaya Namaha, so we touch our chest. We feel him in our chest. We visualize that divinity in our chest, and then we go so and so forth. We touch our forehead, we touch our arms, we touch our eyes, we touch our Anya chakra, we touch our Sahasrara chakra, we touch our Anahat chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, Anahat chakra, and all that. That is what the how the nyasam is done, just to Devo Bhutva Devam Yajet. We invite the Bhagwan in our body. And another question someone may ask, because it came into my mind, so let me just answer it from my side. There is 108 slokas, and there is a reason for that. Why there is 108 slokas from the slok name number 1 to number 1000. Each of that slokas are representing each of single pad step of that nakshatra. That is how we have 27 nakshatra divided into 4, which comes as 108. So there is a one specific slok of Vishnu Sahasranam for one specific nakshatra, that star. Not even that, for example, someone is Ashwini nakshatra, someone is born in Ashwini nakshatra, but Asuni itself has the 4 path, the 4 steps. So there is one slok for each path. So that is why these 108 slokas are there. They are connected to the stars, connected to the nakshatras.
Wonderful. Mani's asking, their Petaji just passed away. They play this in the mornings. Is this an appropriate shlokas or stotram for deceased when doing offerings on kush grass?
No, you can do it. There is nothing like that. Only physical ritual are prohibited there, but stuti can be done. Yes, you should do it actually. He will feel very good about it.
Nice. And so in addition to the week by week going through the 108 shlokas and understanding the names and the pronunciation, what are the assignments for the course? And let me at the same time launch a little poll. Let's know if you're interested in taking the course.
So generally, every other week you will have one assignment, and that assignment is based on how you do the pronunciation at your own pace. Because sometime in your class, because you are repeating after me, so you may do it right. So those are generally the voice notes assignments. In every other week, I assign, for example, 10 sloks or 12 sloks. So you have to record them and send the assignment to me. So that is how I listen to them, and I understand that what is your constant mistake, how you're reciting it at your own pace. Because with me, because I say it and you repeat after me, so you do not make that many mistakes. To know that how you improve, to know that what are your mistakes, what are your common mistakes. So the assignments are like this. Every other week we'll have a voice note assignment, and in the final of the course we'll have one quiz, that 10 to 12 number of questions. That quiz will contain whatever we learned throughout the course. So it may ask you the meaning of the name, because it is the pronunciation and the meaning. So that is how that last quiz, the final quiz, are to made, where you have to answer 10 to 12 questions based on what you've been taught. And your participation and your presentation is also plays a very, very vast role in the course. You have to attend the class. If you miss
Yes,
one
even
or
though
two
it's
class,
online,
that's
we
all.
want you to attend and engage. And so the learning management system, everything that Charyaji is saying, it'll be loaded. You'll have access to it. It'll be easy to click. Our support team will help you
Yes.
navigate all of that.
For example, if you one or two class, that's okay, because the university, the learning management system, LMS, provides every single class get recorded. For example, if you miss by any chance, you can go after the class, see what were taught in the class, and come again.
Okay, so when is it appropriate to do this mantra? Is it just general success, work, job, as somebody is deceased, married? When and why do we do this in specific situations?
Any god any observation, in my opinion, or any worship can fulfill all your desires. But the way Bhishma said, how you will get that benefit? It is not just because you are sick today and you do it, and you just want to be cured, or you are going for something and you do the Hanuman Chalisa and you go it. It is to be said, Tameva charchayan nityam bhakti samanvitaha. For example, you have to observe this, and a little bit of, I know that everyone's life is busy. That is why Bhishma says, even if you cannot do it, just memorize him. Even if you cannot do the meditation upon his feet, just see him, just do the darshan. So all that in a regular basis, in your regular way, will get all kind of the benefit in your life.
Great.
And
Niharika, is that you from Houston? If you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself.
I'm not. I'm from Florida.
Oh, different Niharika. Welcome. Okay, go ahead.
Can we recite any mantras or slokas when someone passed away in the family?
yes, stutis can be done, not the ritualistic worship, unless those 13 days or according to your family tradition are passed. Stutis can be done. Jap can be done. Yes.
I have the same situation in the family, so that's why.
Yes, you can. Yes. You can put it on, you can do it in the side. If you recite it every day, definitely you can do it. The Sandhya and Jap, everything, goes regardless of situation.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I think we're nearing the end of our webinar. Acharyaji, I launched the poll. We've gotten some good reception. And we'll be offering the course again in the future, but we'll decide that later. So Acharyaji, maybe you can close us out, closing statements, and maybe a shloka.
Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, spending your precious time. It was Saturday. You took your time. You joined with us. Thank you so much for that. Let us pray together a very famous mantra which says, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashid dukha bhag bhavet. This shloka says, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, may all be happy. Sarve santu niramaya, may all be disease free, may all be illness free. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, may me, may my family, may everyone together sees good in everything. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Bhadra meaning good, because this entire word is mix of things. There is good and bad together. So please bless my vision, please bless my buddhi, please bless my intellect and buddhi, that I only see good things. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashit dukha bhag bhavet. May no one gets in trouble, may no one gets harmed. With that prayer, thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much, Ankurji. You've been amazing every time, all these success of this webinar, success of the course. You are the one behind the scene who's working hard and making this in a reality. Thank you so much, Ankurji.
No, thank you. And it's always a pleasure to be on with you. You're so engaging, interesting. You answer questions in a way that is really wants and engages more people to want to learn to engage. It's my pleasure, as always, to host you, to be with all of you on the webinar today. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next webinar or in a class or at an event in person. Thank you all. Namaste. Dhanyawad.
Thank you. Har Har Mahadev.